Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. We're out at the Bass Hole on beautiful Bethel Island in the middle of the Delta, the California Delta. I'm with Rob Cloutier, and Rob, it has not been an easy season so far in the Delta.
It has not.
It's been brutal.
These fish are bunkering down and they don't want to show themselves.
A lot of the anglers that are being successful are the guys that are really looking outside the box, and they're being creative. And one of the things that they're doing is scaling down their baits. You know, this is usually a power fishery, big baits, big tough guys out here fishing for big tough fish. But sometimes you just gotta scale down what you have. What I want to get at today is I did a video on spinning rods, kind of a spinning rod for Delta situations. And I know you've got a ton of great gear in here, and you've got some spinning rods that are Delta tough. It's not about going out with the fairy wand anymore. So what I'd like to do today is go over the rods, talk about the reels that you use, even the line setups, and then maybe some of the baits that you use on spinning rods. And I want to make sure that everyone knows that these are rods that some guys will call them fairy wands, but they're getting stronger and stronger all the time. They're the spiral wrapping that they're doing, the polymers that they're using are making these rods strong. So you have a legitimate chance of, when you do hook that big fish, and I'm talking about when, not if, you're going to sooner or later throw a drop shot out there or a small bait, and you're going to get a 5, 6, 7, 8 pound fish. Oh, yeah. You're not going to pull these fish out of heavy cover with the spinning rod, but you have a legitimate chance of landing that fish, at least a 50-50 chance where you can fight them. So with that, can you talk about the rods? Then we'll get into the reels, and then I'm going to pick your brain on how you set these up and use the different baits on different rods that you're going to be showing us.
Yep. So we'll start off here with the lightest that we do, and I like this out here. I do a weightless worm or a Nico worm. This is the iRod Genesis 3. This is the Power Finesse medium heavy. It is a 7'1", 3/16 to 7/16 ounce, and I like this rod here. I will, like I said, I will weightless worms, and I'm not talking about big Senkos and stuff like that. I'm talking about trick worms, reaction innovations, flirt worms, where I will just peg those guys with like a 3/16 nail weight and basically band them and fling them out there and just bring them back real slow. Mm-hmm. I like this rod a lot. I'll pair this up with a 2000 reel or a 2500. I like the 2000 on this because it's a little bit more smaller. And I will put a 10 to 12 pound fluorocarbon on this guy. Straight up fluorocarbon, and that's it.
Straight fluorocarbon.
Straight fluorocarbon on this guy when I'm throwing this. And this is more my Nico rig, my weightless worm rig, my smaller worms. Mm-hmm. This is my go-to for that.
Now, would you consider this one of your lighter rods when it comes to spinning? So what is next in the progression if you're getting out of that worm? Maybe you want to fish a spinning rod that's a little heavier. So
we'll step it up on that. We'll go up to the 7'4" here. This is another iRod Genesis 3, 7'4". This is a legit finesse swimmer. This was designed to throw swim baits, little tiny swim baits around there. I like this guy for my drop shot. I like this guy for my Senko. It's got the backbone. It's got everything I like about it. It's a great rod. I'll pair this guy up here with 2500 reel. We'll go 20 pound braid to a 15 pound fluorocarbon leader. And that's for the drop shot. When I run it on straight Senko or smaller jigs, I will go straight braid to that Senko, and I will rock 20 to 30 pound braid on that.
And then straight braid all the way to your bait, or do you put a
no, we go straight to the hook, wacky rig a Senko, straight to the hook,
straight
braid all the way back.
Okay, so that's the next progression in being a little heavier. Now how about if you want to get into something with a little more power?
So something with a little bit more backbone. I like this Phoenix right here. We're going with the FTX series right here. This is the 7'1" heavy right here. This guy is rated for, you're gonna put you at 1/4 to 1 3/4 ounce on this guy. So this guy is a broomstick. Well, not so much a broomstick, still got the soft tip on there, but it will allow you to get a little bit heavier weight. Maybe you're power shotting 1/2 ounce, 3/8, and you're just rolling down. This is a great rod. It's lightweight, extremely lightweight, easy, paired up with the 2500 reel, and you can roll down the bank and you can flip anywhere. you know, your standard little lizards with a frenzy nail weight there, a Geeka rig right there with the plastic on it. Same thing with this little spicy beaver with a frenzy nail weight on it. That's a good bait right there, paired up with this guy, as well as jigs and everything else. This guy is the workhorse. It will get it done for you. Great, from Lew's, Daiwa to Shimano's, 13s. They all make a really good one. We'll start off here with the Ballistic, the Daiwa Ballistic. This is an excellent reel right here, the 2500. This will put you up in the price range though, but it's a beautiful reel. I've got a couple of them myself, lightweight. I think you're 10 pounds, a 22-pound drag on this guy right here.
That's a ton of drag.
So that's more than enough than what you need right there. I would pair this guy up on my higher end rod, my heavier set rod, for jigs, top water, stuff like that, little spooks, poppers. I would typically put this guy on there.
What's the price point on that?
I think you're going to be about 200 plus on that. You're 239, so you're 240 on that guy.
That's an upper end spinning.
Yes,
spinning reel.
yeah.
How about, you said you like these Lew's. What's the price point on that Lew's, and what do you like about that Lew's spinning reel?
So on this Lew's right here, it's going to put you around 120. I like the Lew's. Basic, easy, functionable. I've got quite a few of these as well too. I like the way that they feel. I like the way they feel in my hand. Everything about them I like. This is a 200 series right here. I will typically pair this guy up with my drop shot or my Nico rig that we talked about right there. This is my lightweight reel, allowing you to get a good cast out with this guy. I like the 200 series. Reasonably priced, great reels, great customer service with Lew's. They're really good. Another Lew's reel, this is the KVD right here. This is the 3000. I use this guy for my Senko. I like it to load it up with 30-pound braid. I will also double down this, and I will throw my top water with this guy. My Ricos, my Spooks, all those guys. It just allows me to fire it in there a lot quicker than a bait caster. So typically I use a spinning reel on my poppers or my little spooks right here, just because I'm so fast with it. Burn it in, get it out there. I could do it so much faster with the spinning reel.
That's the baby spook right there.
That is, yes. Yeah. Yep. So I like the 3000, and I'll pair that up with 30-pound braid.
And how about the Shimano? Which one is this?
This is the Nasi. This is a 2500 Shimano. This guy run you about 89 bucks. Reasonably priced, great reel. So you're right in the door right there. You get a $89 rod, $89 reel. You're into it for 160 bucks. It's not too bad.
All right. Okay, Rob, we talked about some of the rods that you have in here, the spinning reel. So we're looking at primarily a 2000, 2500 spinning reel when you're setting it up on these, I'll say medium to, I'll call them heavy action spinning rods. You talked about on your drop shot rod, you use straight fluorocarbon.
So on my Nico rod, when I'm throwing just a little worm, weightless worm, or just a pegged worm, I'm straight 12-pound fluorocarbon all the way.
And that's on the Delta?
On the Delta.
Now, when you move up to fishing these baby spooks and top waters, you're going fluorocarbon to leader?
I am straight braid to the bait.
Straight braid.
Straight braid.
Excuse me. Straight braid. Yep. All the way. And you're using about 20 to 30 pound braid?
Yep.
Now, before we get into any more, you were talking about line conditioner, reel cleaner, whatever it was you were pretty impressed with. Talk about that too.
So typically after I get done with the fishing the river system here, when I get the chance, I will clean my reels off at the house. I will hose them down, and then I will spray them with the conditioner right here. This is Real Snot right here. Everybody makes a similar product to this. I use the Real Snot because I carry it in my store. I will spray every single one of my reels, bait casters, spinning reels. I will open up my bait casters, the plate on the side, spray those in there. I will spray the line with this stuff right here. Keeps everything lubed up, keeps everybody happy.
And is that also a line conditioner?
Yes.
Okay, so it's kind of like the old KVD line conditioner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make your line last a little bit longer, keep your reels smooth. You know, typically, before I really got into this stuff, I used to just dip. A bait caster would be making some funky noises, and I used to dip it in the water just to get it to go throughout the day. And my repair guy, who I fish with, he'd watch me do it, and he'd just shake his head.
Well, you know, if you're close enough to Russo's launch, you probably got a little bit of oil in the water.
Yeah, you're good. When you see that glare on the top right there, if you're running by it, just dip it right in there, and you're lubed up, ready to go.
Let's quit being silly. I got something here that I see you had up here. You throw a Vision 110 or a small jerk bait on a spinning rod. How do you set that up?
So generally on that guy, I will rock all full fluorocarbon on that. I'll go straight 12 pound. So I'll mix match in between my Nico rig and a little small rip bait in the wintertime, throwing that around docks. And it just allows me to do a little bit preciser cast under walkways, parallel with the dock. I can fire it out there. I'm a lot quicker with that, and I can get a lot more precise casting in versus a bait caster that, you know, a lot of these guys, when you get in these smaller rip baits, they're lightweight. It's hard. You can fire them far if you're just free casting, but if you're trying to target an area, a walkway under a dock, a lane that you're picking, stuff like that, I prefer to use a spinning setup because I have more accuracy in throwing it in there and getting it down where I want it to be, and then I can feel a little bit more. I feel like I feel the bite better when I'm running those. And
straight fluoro to you, or no braid, just straight.
No braid, straight fluorocarbon to these guys right here.
So kind of in wrapping up, if somebody was to come in, they could pick out 2 spinning rods, one kind of a finesse rod, one kind of a heavy rod. With the finesse rod, you'd run straight fluoro, 10, 12 pound.
I 12 minimum out here on the rib for me. I've had my heart broken running 10. I've had it broken many times. Guys want to run 6, 8, 10, and you can get away with it, but that time you get that 8, 9, 10 pounder, and she comes up and shows herself, and she goes, "Not today," and she turns her head and lets you know.
Kind of like the guy that just walked in with his sad story. Yeah,
exactly, just like him. So
that's your light setup. 7'2" medium heavy spin rod, 2500 reel, a straight 12 pound fluoro. Then you have a little heavier setup, 2500 reel with 20 to 30 pound braid, and then you will add a leader section to that. And with your light rod, you're doing your jerk baits and your just twitching type
weightless worms.
And on your heavier rod, is that when you're throwing the top waters? And what else do you throw on this heavy rod? Because I think with those 2 spinning rods, you can cover a lot of ground.
You can. I throw multiple things on it. I'll throw the Frenzy nail weight head on there with a lizard or a D-bomb on there. I will throw that around.
And you'll pitch that right up into the heavy cover?
Right into the heavy cover. We call it, a lot of people call it power shot and stuff like that. I'll throw it in the heaviest to cover with that straight braid. I won't run a fluorocarbon leader on there. I'll keep it true with straight braid. I'll throw the Spicy Beaver all the time. You can do this with the ball head. The Frenzy nail weight head is an excellent head. It catches fish from 1 pound up to 10 pounds. This hook is great. It pins them every single time. It's a great setup for it. Again, even with the Geeka rig here as well, I will drag that guy right there, put a plastic on that and power shot with it and flip it where I need to be at, and I will throw that on my heavier rod, typically with a 2500 or a 3000 reel, and I will throw anywhere between 20 to 40 pound braid on that.
And that'll lead me to my last question, because we've got the right rods, we got the right reels, we got them all set up. You're out there, and you sound like you're fishing these spinning rods. You're not punching with them, you're not frogging with them, but you're throwing them into tules, you're throwing them into places that have some cover around. Talk about setting the hook with, I'll say, 30 pound braid and 12 pound leader, or that line class. Are you able to really set on these things? I know, because the parabolic bend in these spinning rods, you don't take the chance of snapping line so much because the rod's taking the force out of the set. But when you're setting hook on these, talk about how to fight fish on a spinning rod, how to set the hook, and then I know maybe show the people where the meat is in these rods, where you can really start tugging on them.
So typically we'll start here with there we go. This is my medium heaviest, my power finesse right here. This guy, I will do the Senkos, the top water, my light plastics, some rip baits, stuff like that. You can really crack them with these rods right here. Loading up on there, they have a great parabolic bend on there. You can see this is a heavier rod right here. They will load up, so you can really crack them on there. When I'm running a fluorocarbon leader and I only run it on my drop shot, typically, I won't really crack them and give it to them. I'll kind of just reel into them, feel it, and load up, and then start heavy reeling as soon as I get tension on there. But when I'm throwing anything else, a bait where I need to really penetrate it, a lizard, a creature bait, anything like that, I will feel the bite and I will swing on them like a traditional rod. And these rods will take them because the bend is so far down, are so tight on these rods, you can really set hook and get a good hook set in these fish. Now on a rod where I'm using my drop shot, again back to that where we have a full bend on there, where that rod's gonna you can see the difference right off the get-go.
And you want to be, when you get a big fish, you want that rod to be bent. You don't want to fight them on the tip. You want to fight them down.
You want to fight them up there. So typically I'll hold it more at a 70 degree, 80 degree, sometimes even 90, allowing me to do that, versus this rod where I'll hold it at 45, 60 degrees, whatever it be. This one will allow you to hold it upright more and fight it more in the base of the rod.
Well, I think that about covers it. Thanks for all the information. You guys know where the bass hole is, and you've got these are not just the 3 rods, spinning rods that you have. You've got a number of stuff. If you guys have something, a particular application that you're trying to fill, Rob can show you what's going on, set you up with rod and reel, and answer any questions. And man, I'll tell you what, I've been using spinning rods a lot more this summer, and it's just been a lot of fun. Even though I'm not catching huge fish, 2.5, 3 pound fish on these spinning rods, they are a blast, man. So if you're not using them, go out and get some. Have a great time. Rob, thanks for all the information, and
thank you.
Go out there and catch a big one.
Yep.
All right, see you guys on the water.